Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. This is Matt Tour, Annuity Marketing Specialist at IMS. Glad you could join us here on a Monday during the week between holidays. Glad to have you on board. Glad also we're going to be joined shortly by Andrew Gabriel. He's our Internal Marketing Specialist at Equitrust. They've got some really good things going on right now. They got some announcements coming out on some enhancements on some products, extended their bonus on one of their, or a few of their bonus annuities through the first quarter. That's great news. Coming from them, I do expect companies to be very aggressive here the first quarter of 2026. They know that last year we kind of started off a little bit slower in January and February 2025. We definitely want to get kicked off here in 2026 with a quicker pace. I do think we're going to see a decreasing rate environment heading through next year, and I do expect that to start probably sometime in May or June. And we'll kind of discuss what's happening there during the meeting today. So definitely keep that in mind. Now here at IMS, we've had a very good 2025. We're hoping to follow it up with a great 2026. I know we do continue to offer our new builder bonus builders. A good way for you to earn some additional dollars based on production during your first 180 days of being licensed to insurance agency marketing. We have different levels you can qualify for with different cash incentives, lead programs, radio shows, all kinds of good stuff you can order. And we'll take care of the cost on some of these based on the levels you entertain. And great way for you to continue to expand your business based on production through IMS. Glad to get you some more information on that at your leisure. We also offer a referral program. You refer agents to IMS, you get a override based on their production. You get a 20 basis point override based on indexed annuity premium, 10 basis points on MIGAs. We also have our marketing reimbursement. We reimburse half of your cost up to your marketing balance. Your balance goes up based on production. And we put in $100 every $100,000 annuity premium on the index side. And we also put in money based on single premium life and life target. And I know we have agents that have very sizable balances in their accounts. They continue to do seminars, other lead activities, and we will reimburse half the cost. Just to say you send us a bill for $2,000, we'll reimburse you $1,000 based on that. So keep that in mind based on what we do for you out there in the field. We also have a great back office support team. We have a great new business team, great creative team here, great new business department, along with marketing departments for both annuities and life insurance. We have a website you can go to and pull off forms, get information on our current interest rates. Everything is right there at your fingertips. We have a great sales resource library. You can pick up some sales marketing ideas on that. We have, as I mentioned, great form access to new business forms, brochures. A lot of carriers, we have links directly into their sites. We also, of course, have updated annuity grid information, and our long-term care product grid is also on our website. You can do quotes for life insurance. You can do quotes for income rider payouts. A lot of different stuff you can utilize right there on our website. Website is www.imsinc.com. You do have to have a username and password to access the information. And great friendly website. I know we've improved it over the years. We've had a website up and running for probably 20 to 25 years now. Great programs we have there. We also are seeing much more use of e-applications the last couple of years. We've gone from probably 30% usage to 60 based on new business coming in. And we utilize Luma and Firelight for our annuity applications. And then we have some other brands that are more on the life side. But Luma also gives you the opportunity to look up your business and see how much business you have with specific carriers and be able to see how that is working out for your client on returns and such. So Definitely keep that in mind on the Luma side. Creative services, we have a great team on that end. I think we have like 6 different individuals in that department now. Help you out with logo designs, maybe redoing your website, creating a website, maybe redoing your corporate colors, corporate brochures, your logo. They can help you out with all that information, and they do a fantastic job. I know that based on the services you need, your production will help pay for that. If you have not produced as much, there is a small fee for some of these services, so do keep that in mind. And the creative team can also help you out with doing email blasts, maybe social media advertising. You want to put together a company brochure. They can help you out with all that information and be able to really upgrade, your systems up into the 2020s and, make your systems look as relevant as possible. We also have a wealth management side of the business now. We can help you out with getting your Series 65 passed. If you have interest in getting more involved in the security side of the business, we can help you out with that. And we've seen a big increase the last few years on our AUM through IMES. I know we just recently hit the 400 plus million mark in AUM through our group. And we're trying to get to that 500 million mark next, and then eventually get up to $1 billion. So it is growing quickly. And with the stock market going up the last few years, 10, 15, 20% a year, it definitely helps the cause. But it's always good to have, your fingers on both sides, the insurance side and also the security side. That way you can help your clients with both sides, not have a situation where your client goes down the road because someone else can do more than you can. It really helps solidify that client relationship. I know we had a very successful year in 2025 with our life annuity academies. We do expect those to continue into 2026. We do expect we'll see some dates being announced soon and when those will start occurring here in 2026. I do expect them to start in April or May. We try to get past the weather issues that can happen early in the year and try to get things as smooth as possible during our times there based on that situation. And we continue to keep our eyes open for dates that make sense across the board. We did start our big contest we do here through IMES. It's an 18-month qualification. This year we're going to Nassau and the Bahamas. We're doing double credits here through the end of the year. And then we do have qualification runs through all of 2026, January through December. It's an 18-month qualification. It does take 6 million points to qualify, but you do have a number of months here from July through the end of this year where we had double credits based on your production. So we've had a number of people already qualify for the trip. It should be a fantastic time had by all there in Nassau. We do have availability on Facebook and LinkedIn. We have areas covered on both sides. If you do some activity in the social media sites, we can help you out with some of that side of it with our creative team. And we can also see some updates we have that only people on social media see. We have a little contest we run every now and then with social media attendees. Great way for you to get some additional benefits that people did not have by not hitting that side of it. Once again, we are glad to have Andrew Gabriel on with us today. And we're going to go ahead and make Andrew the presenter here this morning. And I've got your system up. It does not show on my system yet, so if I want to get that activated on your end, looks there it is. Just popped on my screen here, Andrew. Great you could join us this morning. Appreciate you being on the Monday morning here, bright and early.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And as always, it's great to tell you all the exciting things going on here at Equitrust, like what Matt was talking about. We definitely want to go into the new year of 2026 with a bang. All of our products are, I would say, very, very competitive in the space. From accumulation, non-bonus to bonus to income products. We have the highest income out there in the industry, to our bridge products, which is a long-term care rider, to Wealth Max. We've got all of the different products you can pivot to, um, especially even MIGA. So those are all things that we'll go kind of discuss today, and Matt and I will, kind of go over the products and where they fit and all that good stuff. But yeah, we definitely want to go into the new year with a bang. And last year was a little bit slow, and obviously, as you know, when it starts out slow, it's hard to catch up. So we don't want to be in that predicament again. We want to definitely be able to have competitive products for you and your clients, as well as, like I said, definitely continually trying to be the best at what we can be, with the service and with our new business department and all of that as well. So as we go into the presentation here, I just kind of want to go over the offers. This shows July 1st to December 31st. However, you, most of you probably should have received an email here recently for our premium bonus special that increases by 3% on the accumulation bonus products there, as you can see. That's going to extend into March, the end of March, March 31st. So any apps received till the end of March 31st will get that 3% additional bonus on the Market Edge Power 10 or Wealth Max. And then, as you can see here, also the double trip production credit. It goes until the end of this month for any of the trip qualifications to Whistler. So, and we'll go over that at the end in this PowerPoint presentation. But yeah, that's exciting news, definitely, for the 3% bonus. Also, there is a 1% commission special, additional 1% on our Smart Boost product as well. That will happen until the end of March 31st too. That was something that was going on, but we extended that just like the 3% as well on these products. So good news there for sure. As far as the 3% bonus, just going over our products a little bit and where they fit within the scenario, what we've seen clients using. Matt obviously sees a lot too. The first product we're going to talk about is our Market Edge bonus product. That is our highest bonus product. It does credit over 3 years. It's got a 23% bonus credited over 3 years, as you can see here. It's a first year premium only, 10-year surrender charge. It's got 11% in the first year, and then it's got a 4% credited over the first 3 contract anniversaries. And the nice thing about that is the bonuses do compound. So the total of the yield would be 24.9% at the end of 3 years. So that's a nice way of saying, an additional 1.9%. And there's no fee on this product, so that's nice. There's a lot of higher bonus products out there in the industry that have fees on them, as you can see. So that definitely takes away from the gain on the interest potential for the indexes. And chime in when you can, Matt. But with the Market Edge, what we've been seeing, a lot of these products. The nice thing about this is Roth conversions. And we'll talk about the partial tax conversion, Roth conversion, and then probably middle part of this presentation. But the nice thing is as you start to do a partial tax conversion, say you wanted to start doing it in the first year, you start putting some money over, right? How much you ever want to do, but that's the nice thing is not burdening you on taxes each year. You can do how much you want to do each year. And the nice thing about that too is when you go to switch that money over each year, you're going to get a bonus on this too as well on the Roth side of things. It's not just the IRA. So whatever money you have over on the Roth side is going to get that bonus on it as well. So it's just a mirrored contract at the end of the day. So you're taking an IRA and converting it into a Roth IRA, and you're able to do it systematically over a period of time, or the amount of money you want to do each year over a period of time. So that's a nice thing there for this product. The
Yeah, one
commissions
thing we do
stay.
we do see on that,
Yeah,
Andrew, is as you mentioned,
yeah.
the Roth conversion. So let's say you're moving $100,000 of IRA money over into this contract. Let's say that up front you want to convert, let's just say 25,000, 1/4 of your total. So that
Hmm.
25 grand is going to get the 11% bonus day one, and then it's going to get 4% bonus the end of the first year. So
Right,
by the end of the first year, you're going to have 15% bonus on both the Roth account and the IRA account, both sides, which will help basically pay the taxes on the conversion. So if your client's in a
right.
15% tax bracket and you're getting a 15% bonus, that's going to cover pretty much the entire amount of taxes a client's going to have based on that conversion. So, and then it will continue to grow, as you go through the years. Plus, you can get two more 4% bonuses, at the end of the second year into the third year. So that's really going to compound out, and you're going to have pretty nice growth in that Roth account, the first 3 years based on those conversions.
Right. And then just also to piggyback off that is even inherited IRAs. You're able to get a bonus um, on the inherited IRAs as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see that at too many other carriers where you're going to get an additional bonus each year as well.
I mean,
You
I don't
typically
see
just
any
get
other carriers that we work with that have a bonus like you guys do on
right,
inherited funds. And
right.
that's, getting a 23% bonus on when the client inherits is just a huge number.
Yep, yep,
Yep. It's
yep,
a great, great,
exactly.
great
So,
combination.
yep, exactly. So, Market Edge has been definitely one of our top products coming in to the latter part of 2025. It came out in March of 2025. A little bit of slow just because people were getting used to it. We also increased the rates on it, so that obviously helped as well from that standpoint on the caps. Kind of give you an idea of here's an idea of just kind of how the bonuses work and things like that. Um, but the rates, as you can see here, still a decent 2.25%, caps at 4.5. We did add some other indexes. We got the buy ups there. If you want to buy up for an additional 1% per year, you can go to 6.5% on the cap or participation rate of 40%. We still have the trigger. That's been a good index. And then the intraday has been a great index as well that do see a lot of people using the S&P 500 dynamic intraday index as well. And that does have a 2-year point to point on it too. So still solid rates there. Like Matt was talking, the Fed lowered rates here in December, but I think, like I said, we want to keep competitive into the new year. So I don't foresee anything right now, as of now, rates changing. As things change, obviously, with the Fed keep lowering rates, then potential that we could see something. But until then, we tend to be the last carrier out there to lower rates. We just want to see what other carriers are doing before we make any type of move. We want to stay, like I said, as competitive as possible, as long as possible. To talk about the next product, it's our Market Power. It's got a 15% bonus on the product. This is the other, like I said, another product that we have that additional 3% on. It was 12% prior to July 1st. It is a 14-year surrender in a lot of states, but there are some states, 10-10 states, that it is a 10-year product, which is nice for that simple reason that you're still getting a 15% bonus for that first year and getting an 8% commission on the product itself. Um,
At
so
8% is
that's
only in the 14-year contracts. The
right,
commission is in the 1010 states listed below there
right,
are 7, which include like
right.
your Pennsylvania, your Texas, your Utah, Washingtons. And I mean, the states where it's only a 10-year contract, this is really unbeatable with no fee.
Right.
15% bonus, 7% comp, no fee, and you have a 10% free out starting the second year. A lot of these companies that have these bigger bonus contracts only allow you to take out 5%. And having a 10% withdrawal plus having the nursing home waiver and terminal illness waiver built into this contract for free, no fees, is another huge deal.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. And also, just so you know, first year premium only, so it's not flexible, but you can put additional contributions into this in the first year and still get that 15% premium bonus or the 8% commission if it's a 14-year product or 7% if it's a 10-year product.
Yep.
So
Good combo.
yeah, the next product, the market power, obviously, as you can see here, it's got a 6% cap, so a little higher cap than the market edge. A lot of agents will ask, why would you choose a product over another? Like Matt and I talked about here a little bit ago, obviously with the market edge, with that Roth conversion, that's a huge, huge play there. It really depends too. If they're looking for a little more upside potential, maybe they can go in with a little less of a bonus too, at the end of the day. So it really depends on, how old they are at that time. If they are a little bit older, then maybe an upfront higher bonus would be a better idea too as well. Just how it depends on how long their their objective, their investment objective is going to be from that standpoint too. So, like I said, still very competitive caps and participation rates there on the market power. Market 10 is a product that has been one of our top selling products. I know Matt likes the Market 10 a lot, so do I. I've got one myself. For the simple fact that you can get an 11% bonus for the first 5 years. And that's huge for an IRA play, or, and then converting it obviously into a Roth IRA as well. But just the contributions to be able to get 11% bonus in this first 5 years, pretty unheard of. I don't know of too many products out there that have that. And once again, it's still a 10-year surrender. It
Yeah,
does
we see
have
a
a
lot
return.
of agents using this the first quarter of the year where their clients are putting in $7,000 or $8,000 for their contributions for 2025 for
Right.
either a Roth IRA or an IRA started up. And then next year they can add to the same policy, make another 11% of those new funds.
Yep.
And that way they don't have to have multiple policies, which kind of confuses things. You kind of have it all under one house. And that way it's easier to keep track of. They don't have all these different statements. They have one statement that comes to their house on this policy. It really simplifies things overall.
Yep. No, I agree. And the other nice thing about the Market 10, it doesn't have it on any of the other products, is the return of premium rider at issue with no fee. Um, just that reassurance, the guarantee of they can get the return premium back if they decide they, you know, don't want to be in it anymore. Obviously, the return premium is probably more for, you know, in that first year, because once you've put in a bunch of money in contributions, it's hard to just take that money out unless it was an emergency, of course. And that's why we have that. At the end of the day, is just to have that
Peace of
reassurance
mind.
that
Yeah.
people are able to access. And obviously, all these products still have the terminal illness and nursing care waiver as well, care rider on it. So definitely be able to get access to that money too. It's always still huge for sure.
And the rates are competitive. I mean, take a look at that rate sheet coming up next. I mean, you're looking at rates very similar to the market power bonus. Aren't they pretty much the same?
Yep. market power is going to be the same from that standpoint. Like
Yep.
I said, it's a little bit of a give and take, but at this portion of this product, you've got that 15% bonus a little bit higher. However, you get 11% for the first 5 years. So, we're giving them bonus, more of a bonus almost in a sense, for the first 5 years if you really take advantage of those
Yeah, and those 10-10
tax
states, I mean,
efforts.
both are 10-year contracts. But if they're not looking at adding more money into their policy after the first year, maybe that 15% bonus is better for them because they're getting it all up front and you're
Right,
compounding off of that. I mean, if they're not in the best of health also, maybe their life expectancy is maybe 5 years or 6 years, getting that 15% bonus will make a difference. I mean, you're going to get a little bit better returns
right.
overall based on that situation.
Yep, yep. And then I think that's really like what you said and what I said before is that, it really depends on the age of a client. At the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, what are they looking for? A little higher bonus. Like I said, if they are a little bit older, maybe a higher bonus is better because they can offset and get that. And if they want to be able to take out 10% and take out that bonus, if they want to do that, they can do that. Up to 10% penalty free. It's
Yep.
definitely an option for them. So just really depends on the scenario and things like that. I think at the end of the day, a lot of agents sometimes will ask, what's your best selling product? But it doesn't always necessarily mean it's best for the client either, right? Um,
Right.
really depends on the scenario of the client and, where they're at in life.
Mm-hmm.
I think is always key too, for sure. So that's definitely what I always tell agents, because like I
Sure.
said, it's not always well who has the highest cap either,
That's right.
because that might not be the best
The
thing.
best
We have
deal.
a Smart Boost product that's got a higher cap, but it's a great product, but it doesn't have an upfront bonus. It's a death benefit guarantee, so it's not going to have an upfront bonus or anything like that. So little bit of a different niche from that standpoint. So there's always products always have something different that you can choose from to be able to adapt to the client's portfolio. Um, we were going to talk about now the partial tax conversion, the Roth conversion. Like I said, at the end of the day, we're only one of the carriers or very few carriers that have this available from the standpoint of being able to just be in one contract. It doesn't, a lot of the other carriers out there, you have to do a 10% penalty free withdrawal and two multiple contracts for a Roth conversion. And, nobody wants to do that. They don't want to have a large portion, of their contracts with additional surrender charges, new surrender charges, and all of that. This doesn't have that. When you actually put your product into the Roth conversion, we're not incurring surrender charges and there are no additional surrender charges to that. So as you can see here, why would you use a bonus FIA in a Roth conversion? Number one, it gives your clients control when they pay taxes, has the flexibility for your clients. It gives potential tax advantages, and also Equitrust will also handle the tax withholding if your client so wishes, which is another big thing. A lot of carriers don't do that either. Um, there's a lot of clients that don't have additional funds out there sitting on the sidelines that they can pay their taxes at the end of the year. So if they want to pay their taxes with the the principal they have here, they can do that. However they would so wish to. Um, Talking a little bit more about how it works. Once again, you can do this with a IRA to Roth IRA conversion, or you can do it from an inherited IRA to a non-qualified contract. And simply, the contract mirrors the original contract, the same effective date, same client roles, agent count allocations, creditor rates, riders, everything. The only thing different is that if you had an IRA and you switched it over and converted it over years, the Roth IRA is going to have a different contract number. That's the only thing different. Okay. And as you can see here, once the money moves from the original contract to the mirrored one, when the value of the original contract, if it's an IRA, is depleted, the original contract then is closed. So that's good news there from that standpoint. like I said, because um, there's so many contracts that you could have at another carrier, and it's so much you have to, keep track of, and nobody wants to have to do that. So plus then with this, you're going to have, if you have an IRA and a Roth IRA and you're converting over time, you are going to have two annual statements that come to you for your IRA contract and also for your Roth IRA contract as well.
And the good thing about
Um,
your
so
inherited contracts, Andrew, is let's just say that someone brings in $100,000 of inherited money, and they have to do RMDs. You guys allow them to do that internally, correct? You allow them to move the money from that inherited contract to the non-qualified side of it, send them out a 1099 for the amount you moved over. At the end of the 10th year, when they have to do the rest of it, you just convert the entire amount over to the non-qualified side and send a 1099 based on that. Is that the way that works?
that's correct. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, a lot of people think they have to take all of the money out of the inherited IRA contract, and that's not true. What they want is the taxes paid. The IRS wants their tax money at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. Um, but you don't have to pay it, a certain amount each year. You could wait till the end of the year and not paid anything. And what'll happen then is we'll figure up the taxes that need to be paid, and we'll send them over to the IRS, and then we will then convert that into a non-qualified account then. So, I mean,
I mean,
that's
that's
another
only
nice
if
thing.
that's the only if the person that passed away was not taking RMDs. But if they were
Right.
taking RMDs, the
Correct.
client that inherits
Right.
it does have to take RMDs out every year. Yep.
Right. Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but I think that's the one thing that, like I said, is definitely key is that if they weren't taking RMDs, um, is that we're
And that
allowed to be
that
able
really
to get that
simplifies it
transferred over.
for the client too when Equitrust automatically do it and they don't have to worry about sending in a form every year. They just set
Yep.
it up that way up front. RMDs go
Right.
out to this new plan every year. I mean, as long as I have funds outside of this to pay the taxes with, good to go.
Right. Exactly. So that's really all I had on the partial tax conversion, but it's very simple too. So that's how
Mm-hmm.
easy it is. We do have a form. If I'm sure Matt has that form, if any of you guys need the information, we've got great FAQs on this partial tax conversion and how it works. Pretty much every question out there, the form out there that shows how you can mark what boxes to choose, when to, how much to convert each year, whatever it may be, it is all right there. So that's the nice thing. So very
Right.
simple process for sure. Wanted to go over the multi-guarantee Certainty Select product. I think, obviously with the MIGA, our rates haven't gone down and we're still trying to stay competitive as possible there. So that's always one thing too as well, that the MIGAs, we always try to keep our rates as high as possible until we can't anymore and then have to drop them, I think at the end of the day. So the nice thing about, I'd say one thing nice about our Certainty Select product is that um, the interest, that the penalty-free withdrawals of cumulative interest at any time is a big deal, I think. So you don't have to say you didn't take interest in the first year and you wanted to wait until the third year to take all of that interest. Well, you could do that. You could aggregate it and take all of that interest in those first 3 years and then take that interest. Where a lot of the carriers don't allow that. It's all or nothing. Um, Whether it's the penalty free withdrawal or if it's interest, whatever it may be. But with us, you wait till the end of the fourth year if you wanted to and take the interest, however you want to. So that gives some flexibility, I think, for
That's a
definitely for
nice
people.
benefit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a nice thing there. It is an automatic renewal. There is a 30-day window period prior to the end of the guarantee period. So just so you know that there's an automatic renewal on it. If you decide not to automatically renew, then you need to call us and let us know. There is a form um, as well to say that you're going to continually, or excuse me, not automatically renew. So you can let us know that. Um, Issue ages are 0 to 90, so that's a nice thing too as well. This is one of our products that, and the Market 5 are our only two products that go to age 90. Um, at the 3, 5, 6, and 8 year solution there, as you can see, the commissions, and then the renewal commission, as you can see, for street level is 1%. At the time they automatically renew. I know a lot of people ask about that. If they get full commission for renewal and they don't, it's just a 1% commission. So obviously, as you can see, your competitive rates, text referral, and the option to annuitize it at the end of the guarantee period as well. If people are
And your
seeking,
commissions are very competitive. I mean, you take a look at 5-year contracts out there, very few pay 3% commission, and
2.5%,
two and a half
3%.
or 2.25%, Otherwise,
Yep.
5.25% right now is a very good rate, and you add the 3% commission on top of that. Great
Yep.
combination right now.
Yep. And that's where I was going to lead to, is the rates here. I think last time we lowered our rates was in October, but prior to that was like July. So we don't change our rates a whole lot, and people, that's the number one question I always get, is how often you change your rates, and there's no cadence to it. It's just when they feel that they need to, then they will. We always do give you a week out in advance. Typically, we'll send an email out saying, hey, we are changing rates, to let you know, so that way you can get it in to lock in that rate. It is a 60-day rate lock hold for that. So that's always a big question I get from that standpoint. But it's definitely when the application was received is when the 60-day rate hold then starts.
And also, if you're looking for just a pure accumulation indexed annuity, I know you guys have the market 7, the market value. The market value right now, I mean, I like that plan a lot. I mean, it has the 10% cap on the S&P. You've got a 5.25% fixed rate, I believe, and then it has a 70% par on the S&P if you buy it up with a 1% fee.
Yep.
You combine those three, I mean, you're looking at some really good return opportunities there. I mean, let's just say the market's up 18% like it was this year. You make 70% of that. I mean, you're up over 12. Take the 1% fee off, you're at 11. And then your 10% cap on your other bucket of money is making 10, and your fixed rate's making 5.25. No one else has that.
Right. And that is a 10-year product. So,
Right.
market value. Market 7 is 7 year, and 5 years or market 5 is 5 years. So those are our non-bonus accumulation products. I just didn't put those in here today because I just wanted to go over the 3% bonus. But yeah, thank you, Matt, for definitely letting us know about those, because those are definitely a top selling product as well, for sure.
Yeah, so you mean EquiTrust gives you both the bonus side of it and the non-bonus. So I mean, the way I look at it, I mean, do you want most of your money in the first few years, or do you want to have a pretty level growth throughout the time period, especially if you don't have a surrender charge? I prefer the market value. Unless your client's in bad health, the market value is going to give the best return, over a 10-year period compared to the other ones, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yep. No, I totally agree. So thank you for throwing those in there for sure. But definitely wanted to jump on the 2026 EquiTrust producer incentive trip. This year we're going to Whistler. Last year was Turks and Caicos. As you can see here, we are doing the triple credit for Smart Boost applications or all other products, double credit until the end of the year. Applications do need to be received by the end of December 31st at 5 p.m. Central Time. Qualification period, you can see here, June 1st to May 31st of 2026. Production requirements is that 5 million in production credit on 5 or more cases of eligible business. And then also the top 40 producers meeting production requirements will be selected then. I think last year it was right around, the cutoff was about 8 million for the top 40. So obviously it gives you an idea of where you need to be to qualify 5 million. However, we only take the top 40. So it was about 8 million where the cutoff was. We also, for the top 10, are going to Vancouver a couple days before, and then they'll meet up with the other 30 on September 26th in Whistler there. So, and that's all currently offered on all Equitrust products.
You still have time to
I'll,
qualify. It runs through May, so through May of
yep,
2026.
exactly. Also, the tier compensation program, some good news here, and I'll kind of share that. It's not on here, but the tier comp qualify for 5 million production. You receive an additional 1% commission on all eligible premium. That does not include MIGAs, just so you know. The tier 2 is a 10 million qualified production with additional 0.5% for a total of 1.5% commission eligible on all eligible premium. And then this year, coming in, well, not this year yet, January 1st, we will have a $15 million qualifying production, and that'll be an additional 0.5% as well. So if you reach that total of 15 million, you can get an additional 2% on all qualified eligible premium for 2026. So just another tier compensation level that we're putting in 2026. So that's exciting news there. So definitely trying to stay competitive in that realm as well. So that's all exciting news on Equitrust standpoint. But at the end of the day, I think like I talked about that before, Matt, is that we are going to stay competitive for as long as we can. It really depends on what the Fed does here in the new year. From that standpoint, I think we have a lot of capital, risk-based capital to hedge upon. But obviously, when we've got to do things, we've got to adjust. But once again, we're going to stay as competitive as possible to where we need to be in order to do that. So, yeah, any questions that anybody has, Matt, I don't know if there's any questions we have, but if not, then definitely that's all I had today.
Appreciate that, Andrew. Appreciate your time today. But I think Equitrust definitely has a very good range of plans. Bonus, non-bonus, MIGAs. They got the bridge annuity, which is fantastic for long-term care needs. I know they're going to be announcing some enhancements to that the first part of 2026.
Yep, that'll be another
even
exciting thing. Yep.
More competitive. And I think if people they're not selling those types of plans, or if you got pretty healthy clients that want that long-term care coverage, now's the time to do it, because you put 100 grand in, you've got triple coverage based on preferred rating that gives them $300,000 of long-term care benefits, and that goes up 2% per year as you defer it, as you're not in the nursing home. That's a huge benefit. I mean, nobody else has that.
Right.
So definitely a great combination right now.
And like Matt said, there will be some exciting enhancements coming out here, I would say in the next day or so, 2 days, explaining those enhancements. So and that'll all start on January 1st. So
Great.
Look for that email on the bridge for those enhancements. And yeah, should be an exciting year.
And the bridge right now is paying additional 1% commission. And that runs through the end of this year, or does that run into next year?
Not the bridge. It's Smart Boost is.
Smart Boost. Okay.
Smart Boost, not the bridge.
Yep. All right. Just checking. Yep. I get some of my commissions mixed up sometimes.
That's all right.
I always hope for the best, Andrew. You know that.
I know you do, Matt. I know you do.
That's right. There we go.
So, all right. Well, awesome.
Appreciate it. Everyone have a great New Year's coming up. We're glad you could join us here during this holiday week. And anything you want to finalize off with here? Shut her down with?
I don't think so. I hope everybody has a great New Year and look forward to working with you here in 2026.
Sounds great. Otherwise, everyone have a great week. We'll talk to everyone soon.